Hi everyone, welcome to the office hours here on the ViaMonstra Academy. It is Wednesday, it is 4:30, meaning it's your chance to ask questions on anything related to MDT, ConfigMgr, Intune, Microsoft infrastructure and whatnot. So welcome everyone and let the questions begin. All right. Once again, we have Andrew here in the studio. Welcome, Andrew.
Hey, happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday indeed. So, what's going on? Anything exciting in the Intune world or ConfigMgr world or imaging world?
I saw something not so exciting a little bit ago, that there was some issues going on with ESP showing up in Autopilot.
Oh, rather not showing up, right?
Yeah, exactly. It looks like, so I've got a tweet from David James confirming this a little bit ago. It looks like there's an issue with ESP in Autopilot when using dynamic groups. So something to keep an eye out on if you're out there using Autopilot today, for sure.
Yeah, I saw a few other folks reporting it as well. Where basically the machine was just skip it and just enroll in without doing all the good stuff as part of the enrollment. So, all right. Hopefully that will be fixed soon.
Yeah.
As usual, we do accept questions on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. So by all means, again, if you have any questions, please let them. Please put them in there. We'll be happy to answer. English, good lord, it's a tough language to master.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, you're born here, so.
Yeah, and I still struggle with it.
Yeah. All right. So what else has been going on? Well, we had Mr. Sune in Denmark. He put together a really nice post on Windows Autopatch that I kind of wanted to share with you. So see if I can go ahead and add my screen share here. Let's see how that works. It doesn't look too bad, does it?
Works pretty well, I would say.
Yeah, so I was playing around with service account earlier, or group managed service account for scheduled tasks. It was actually possible. I didn't know, but it worked.
Nice.
But that was another story. Anyhow, sidebar. This one. So elegant post from Sune on basically deep dive into Autopatch and how that works. So I'll put this one in our little link section from the session. As usual, we post them both here on the Academy and also up on the YouTube channel. ViaMonstra Academy YouTube channel, meaning this one here. So links in both places. But before I forget, I will actually grab the link also. Otherwise, it's going to be just embarrassing here. Then we have Janik Reinhardt. He put together a new release of a tool that can help troubleshoot Intune, or Intune Device Troubleshooter, as they call it. So if you haven't seen this one, highly recommend to take a look. Good
Very
stuff
cool.
right there. Yeah, it's fun because you start to see a lot of these different community troubleshooter tools coming up. Oliver was early out in his sync tool back in the days, and then we have Matthias in Denmark put together some, and Niehaus put together a few scripts back in his days. And that's been a lot of nice additions.
Oh, some of them become critical. Sometimes it's so hard to figure out, where the issue lies and where to look, because there's so many moving parts with this now.
And it doesn't get smaller either, adding more and more to it.
Not at all.
All right, let's see if there are any questions coming in. John had a question here on YouTube. Do you know if there will be a separate ADK for Windows 10 22H2? I have not seen anything like that. The only thing I have seen to answer that question is something that you probably should be staying away from at the moment, because they did release a new ADK for Windows 11 22H2, which has backwards compatibility with Windows 10. Problem is it's not yet supported for any of the current deployment tools that are out there. So it's not supported with ConfigMgr 22 or 3, and it does not work with MDT 8456, which haven't been updated in a good 2 years, and it doesn't look good in the future either. So for now, if you're playing around with Windows 10 22H2, which I actually was doing the other day somewhere in one of my labs, wonder if it was this little friend. Yeah, this one here. I'm actually using ADK 21H2 or 22H2 or Windows 10. So this is the insider release that I had just recently, the first ISO they made available with this version number in it. It works beautifully well. So I recommend just stay away from 22H2 ADK for now, or probably for a long time. Since they are not very good in updating those either when needed. So I put this link up in the link collection as well, so you guys have it.
Perfect.
All right. Apparently I'm not capable of doing copy and paste, so I'm trying again. There we go. Nice. Imran is asking on YouTube, do you know if you can upgrade from Windows 10 21H2 to Windows 11 through servicing? Absolutely, yes. That is currently the only option that is available. There are no enablement packages that route. Rumors are, and this is rumors so far. I haven't seen any official confirmation, but rumors are that the 22H2 of Windows will be an enablement package from 21H2. So I really hope that's the case, because that's going to make the upgrade to that one a breeze, basically. Very, very easy to do. So we'll see. It should be released any month now. I'm kind of guessing it will be released just before Ignite or even during Ignite, which is in October, I believe. Microsoft Ignite.
Which I can't believe is not that far away.
It's mid-August. It's crazy.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah. Not sure why the
or when it's summer and you get to actually go outside. Time flies then too.
It does. I'm not sure why that one is not loading at the moment, but it's a bonus, I guess.
Let's see here. There we go. You can pop up my screen if you want, Johan.
All right, let's do it. There we go.
12th through the 14th.
Yeah. I think I know what happened with Ignite. It went directly to my Ignite, my registration page. Yeah, now it showed up nicely on my machine as well. All right. Internet. Interesting stuff.
Yeah. Someday we'll master it.
So yes, upgrade packages, and that means like a full setup exit driven package, not an enablement package. not from 10 to 11. I hope that answered the question. You can use the sequence as well. We tested that. I mean, speaking of that, I'm going to steal the screen back from you, Andrew.
Sounds good.
Let's see here. There we go. Shiny, shiny, shiny. Of course. Gonna promote my own Twitter. This morning, we released a 75-page ebook, free one. You can download from my blog. That takes you through imaging using Windows 11 imaging using both ConfigMgr, MDT, and a little bit of other information related to those processes. So if you haven't anything booked for the weekend, I can highly recommend to spend a few hours on this one. It's basically step-by-step lab guides on how to get from scratch to finish, getting OSD going and with Windows 11. So I'll put that link in the chat. And
very cool guide. I was going to mention it if you didn't.
Thank you, sir.
How long have you been doing these now? For a while, right?
It's been a while, but this one took the longest, I believe. I've been working on it more or less on and off for a good few months now. So,
okay.
But finally it's released.
Very
Even
cool.
made a little video there. That took also a good few hours to put together.
It's pretty cool, though.
Thank you,
I
sir.
like it.
Yeah. So anyhow.
So that was a big thing for this week, but I also wanted to mention, I believe, Monday night, I was just getting ready to bed, but thanks to you and our friends at Intune.training, I had to stay up a little bit later when a wonderful interview with you and Adam was posted Monday night.
We had an absolute blast. They have been running these YouTube videos or trainings for Intune for 4 years now. So this was season number 4. And they invited me to just come and ask about basically career and training in general, the importance of it. So it was a late Friday for me, a late Friday for Adam, and a very early morning for Steve down in Australia. But that was an absolute blast. I'll make sure to include that link in the link list as well. It was a good one for sure.
Yeah, I would say too, as I suppose a semi-biased, I'm a little bit biased on you, Johan. Party. I would take the hour and go check that interview out. I mean, you do plenty of these things, talking technical to the community, but going through some of how you've built your career and some of the recommendations you have for others to be successful in their career, it was awesome to hear in this interview. So it's a good, it seemed like a good mixed conversation that you guys had, and I would recommend anybody in this area to go check it out for sure.
All right, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. And I have that in the link collection too. All right. Any other questions coming in? Don't see any in the chat at the moment. I know you, Andrew, had some things on your mind that you've been playing around with or working with.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead. You want to switch over to my screen for a few?
I'll allow it, yes.
Thank you.
Let's see here. Here we go, and that one goes away.
All right.
Did that even work? Let's see.
There we go.
Waiting. Yep.
Got it.
Yep.
So yeah, something I've been playing around with a little bit, and I just wanted to highlight today is the Intune BIOS update compliance reporting from our friends over at MS Endpoint Manager blog. This is pretty cool stuff. So I don't have anything too too strict planned here, but I wanted to just kind of review this a little bit and talk through some of the things I'm seeing with this solution. So it ties a couple of their solutions together. They have a custom inventory script that you can use. You assign through endpoint analytics to your devices, and the custom inventory script will upload some information from the endpoints up to a log analytics workspace. And then there's some additional scripts behind the scenes that will sort of crunch that data and then give you a nice report. So this is sort of the workflow, the overall workflow of what this looks like. Of course, as I mentioned, this will use proactive remediation scripts in endpoint analytics, and then some additional pieces in Azure Automation and Log Analytics. So you do have to have an Azure subscription for this. But what this does, I'll just show the end result of this quickly first. So if I go into the MEM portal, go to my reports and workbooks and BIOS update compliance, go ahead and switch this just to make sure we've got data in there. You can see the end result here is that I have a device or many devices, more likely in production than in my lab here, that are reporting up their BIOS version. And then some of these scripts in Azure Automation are actually calling out to the OEMs. I have to see which ones are supported. Obviously, I've got Dell in my environment. I'm pretty sure Lenovo and HP are supported with this solution. But my device is reporting up the current BIOS version that it has installed, and then they're calling out to the OEMs to see what the most recent version is. And then this will report on whether or not there is an update available for a particular machine, or if they are up to date. So that's sort of the end result. But what we can actually do is go into Log Analytics, and I'm actually going to take this query right from their blog post.
Stealing with pride.
That's right.
Borrowing. Yeah.
I learned from the best. Let's see. So we can go where I just need to go a little further back.
What options do you have in the time range up there in the drop down?
Oh yeah, I can try that too. I've been trying to force myself to do this in a query. Let's see if I did the wrong. So basically there we go. So basically what this query is doing is taking information from the BIOS solution plus their custom inventory script, joining them together to give you this data. So if I actually copy this off, you can see, let's run another query here. If we look at just the BIOS information, I'll do this. We'll see that we don't have the device name or anything like that in here, but in conjunction with the device inventory data, we can get that additional information tied together and get that workbook, which I think is just awesome. Talk about cool community solutions, Johan. This is one of them.
Yeah, totally. They spend a lot of time on those.
They did. And then this is just some of the data that you get out of the custom inventory script that they've put together. This is by default. Of course, it's a script, so it's extensible. You can collect whatever you want from your environment. So what you get with this just really can help bolster some of we talk in our course about reporting in Intune. And you see it on Twitter from time to time. Sometimes it leaves a little bit to be desired, I think, to put it nicely, when we're comparing to what we have in ConfigMgr today. But this can start to get you a little bit closer to that, and the folks over at MS Endpoint Manager are really helping the community to bridge some of that gap. So just something, as you said, I've been playing around with a little bit lately, and just for how easy it is to actually get it installed, I think it can be intimidating, see a bunch of those pieces, but their documentation works really well to get this implemented in your environment, and it's just really cool to see all this stuff in place. So fun to play with.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing really to I think make a note of is to make sure that you have license to run proactive remediation. Otherwise, it's going to kind of fall a little bit flat, because that's what's being used to gather the good stuff for this.
Absolutely. Great note.
Something I just stumbled across recently about proactive remediation script is we wrote a tuner for branch cache for customers who are managing their fleet with Intune policies. And I just had a script that I was working. I just copied it into ICE and uploaded it to Intune, and it didn't work. I mean, it worked locally, but it didn't work when running through Intune. And it turned out that sometimes when you use PowerShell ICE to copy and paste in the proactive remediation script, it garbled some of the characters. I've seen similar stuff on GitHub as well sometimes. So I just copied the same code into Visual Studio Code and up into Intune. Problem went away. It was like one of those.
Interesting.
Yeah, I was like, okay. So proactive remediation script, if you stumble across issues, strange ones, copy and paste from Visual Studio Code first, and then try it out. Yeah.
Good tip.
Yeah. All right. What else? Oh, I got a shiny email this week. Oh, did you have anything else you want to add on the dashboard?
No, I don't think for now.
All right. So very, very shiny, of course. Let's see, why does it do it full? Here we go. And here we go. There we go.
Nice.
Starting to learn this interface here, but I'm getting there.
Yeah.
So I finally, after 3 weeks of support case, got my application size limit increased on from the default 8 gig up to 30, so I can have large applications. So of course, I started to right away play around with some of my larger app suites. Like we have the Adobe suite here. This is an older one from 2021, so this one is not too big. But then I also, so this one is around 18. Then I have this one here where I actually removed one of the apps, so that one is only 20.5. And then of course we have the Autodesk suite, which is like 25. And the full one here is also 25. But what I've learned is that PowerShell is your friend when working with large applications. They are a friend otherwise also. So I've been borrowing the Intune module from Nikolai Anderson that he published a good while back. Let's see if I can find that one. Remember him having on the blog for a bit. It's up on GitHub on the gallery, of course, but let's see. I think he had a post about it here somewhere. Here we go. So this is the original post. It's been updated since the script, but this is a great read if you need to work with applications through PowerShell. And so bottom line, I'm using this script to create the application. And then when it came to actually upload it to Intune, just forget it for my computer. It's that did not work. I have a 20 megabit upload. That no. So I actually had to resort into buying another license. I have. Oh, I can show actually here. Uh, I had to get a dedicated Windows 365 instance. See where I put that one. Yeah, this one here. So I bought one that wasn't too much CPU and memory, but it has a bit of a hard drive. So I can archive my Intune upload in chunks, get it up to this server, OneDrive sync or something, and then upload from that one to Intune. And that goes fast because now this one is, of course, on the right side of the performance.
I'm guessing that's got a little bit better connection to the Intune infrastructure.
Yeah, it's been good. It's really good. It's basically it sits like on top of Intune.
There you go.
Same switch probably. Yeah. So anyhow, that was how my morning packing those applications. And it took a while. It took a good 40 minutes to archive the app using the content prep tool. And that was on a machine that actually it's not too bad. It was on this box here that was doing the archiving. So it has a CPU or two that I can use. But it took a while. It's so many files in that package. But yeah, that was my morning.
Nice.
Any other questions out there? We'll be happy to answer any and all questions. And we have a whooping half hour to spare.
We've got a pretty exciting week coming up next week.
Oh, heck yeah. Q3 is starting on the Academy, all the courses at the same time. That is going to be interesting. An idiot apparently booked a masterclass the same day or same week also. And that idiot was me.
Hey, I didn't say it.
You did not. I just looked at my cat and was like, okay. So Dan had a follow-up question on the ADK. I'll be happy to go back to that one. So the comment I made was basically around the newly released 22H2 version of ADK. Shorthand versions stay away from it. It doesn't work as it should. And no currently released deployment solutions works with it or are supporting it. I actually got it to work with ConfigMgr 2103, except I had to add in a 32-bit image from an older ADK because a new thing in ADK for this is that a 32-bit boot image is gone completely, and ConfigMgr kind of looks for one. So does MDT. But basically, stay away from it for now and use the 21H2 version, even if you are deploying Windows 10 22H2 that I mentioned I had tested on one of my servers here, or also now when it become available Windows 11 22H2, I expect to work the same way. So yeah, simple things. Keep it simple. So the build for this one, to follow up on another comment there that came in through YouTube, the build number is, let's see why I put it here. It's a little bit hard to see, but this is the build number for 22H2, but this is the one you want to be on still. This one here. So, all right. Follow-up comment there, war is broken for Windows 10 deployment. The only thing I've noticed that is really broken is the HTA support in it. And unfortunately, for those of you using MDT Light Touch, that's kind of what makes up the deployment wizard. So what does work, though, is a shameless plug, obviously. But if you take Light Touch and you extend it with PowerShell, then it actually works, because our wizard that is work-driven or written in PowerShell did not have a problem in 22H2. It's just that it hasn't been tested, and Microsoft does not support it, but they do support the older versions, so why not use them for now? That would be my take on it. So there was a question coming in on YouTube here. Client want to do test deployments of both Windows 11 and Windows 10. You can definitely keep on deployment share. That what was the question was about, but use this version, because this one is indeed supporting both Windows 10 and Windows 11 deployment. There is absolutely no need of keeping around an older ADK from Windows 10 just because you want to do a Windows 10 deployment. Use Windows 11 instead. I hope that answered that question. A good thing about when you are using newer ADK versions is that the driver support you get with them is really, really good. Microsoft is adding in more and more drivers for every ADK version that comes out there. So a lot of organizations, they only need to add in 4, 5, 6, 7 drivers extra into it to support a large variety of models. This was actually something I blogged about yesterday, and not too many people know this, even though it's been around for a while, but driver installation order in WinP actually matters. If you install the drivers in the wrong order, sometimes they will not work, and primarily that's for Intel drivers. And that's the reason why some vendors like HP have starting to number their folders. So instead of having like a network and storage only, they now have actually numbering of folders. And this is because ConfigMgr, when it's importing drivers, is actually reading them in this order that they are in the file system. So if you do having troubles with drivers, it could very well be that they are not added in the right order as well. Other options, there was a follow-up thread to this going on Twitter afterwards. You can have the sequence install drivers through DRV load. You can, of course, maintain multiple boot images with different drivers in each boot image, but I think that's a bit of a nightmare to having to deal with. But sequences is a good solution where you basically have logic in the sequence. If it's this hardware, this vendor, load this driver on the fly. If it's that vendor, this hardware, load this other driver. So drvload.exe has been around since Windows Vista in WinP, so it works well. So let me see what else that came in. Do you happen to know a good source blog discussing about application, packages, sequences, deployment, high-level workflows? I think I've seen one. Andrew, anything on your mind on that one?
Not on high-level workflows. I mean, of course, I think we could probably come up with several for application deployments and task sequences in general. Through, your blog probably being one of them that I could think of. MS Endpoint Manager that we mentioned. Gosh, I feel like there's
I'd like to say Anoop is probably the one that has a lot of,
Yeah.
in addition to deep dive, he also been publishing a lot of more broader topic. So if you go to this link here, am I still sharing my screen, by the way?
Yes.
Yeah. This post, this blog here has a ton of articles that are related to broader areas as well. So if you haven't read some of his posts, by all means do so. And there are a lot of other bloggers on this platform as well. It's not just Anoop that is posting, it's a bunch of other people too. So there's a rich set of content. So I'll put this one, maybe this link here. Did my little notepad document go here?
Gosh, I reference some of his posts regularly when I just don't want to rely on whatever was off the top of my head. Go verify from one of his posts.
Good stuff. All right, any other questions? We still have 20 some minutes available. So if you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer. Don't see anyone coming in the chat. We can stick around for a few minutes if there are some more questions coming in.
Sounds good. Did just come across a tweet from Mike Terrell a little bit ago about an optional update that will block known vulnerable UEFI modules.
Ooh.
That looks important.
Do you have it up on the screen?
I do.
All right, let me go ahead and share your screen and get rid of mine.
There we go. So, looks like it's just an optional update related to UEFI and secure boot. Those devices that base firmware can run with. A security feature bypass vulnerability exists in secure boot. An attacker who successfully exploited the vulnerability might bypass secure boot and load untrusted software. I wonder why that's optional.
Well, it could be. It hasn't been tested much, but
Yep.
sounds like something that should be looked into for sure.
I would say so. Yeah, it looks like maybe some known issues here. Anyways, looks important enough to check out. I'll send you this link so you can drop it.
Beautiful. Thank you, sir.
Uh-huh.
There, I got it. Excellent. A name to it. Security update for secure boot. All right.
Yeah, so it says a couple of the known issues. Some OEM firmware might not allow for installation of the update. And if you have a BitLocker group policy configured in a specific way, you need to suspend BitLocker for 1 or 2 restart cycles. So something to look out for.
Yep, indeed. Good find. All right. I don't see any other questions. So Do you have anything on your mind, Andrew?
Plenty, but probably not the right forum to share all of it. No, I'm. That's a lot of what's gone on this week. I think we've covered. Hopefully,
All
we'll
right.
see some of our viewers today next week.
I hope so. Hope so. Everyone, thank you so much for joining. Andrew, thank you for hanging out and answering all questions. And I wish you a great rest of the week, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.